Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. You hear the cicadas? They're starting. Not sure what they're screaming about, but... So, today's topic is going to be, why do symptoms flare up and get worse? So I'll cover that in a little bit, and I apologize for the noise. If this becomes overbearing, let me know, comment, and may have to start shooting inside, but I love being outside anyway. So, I'm going to breathe in the peace and sometimes the noise if the cicadas scream. The end of a hot day, it's starting to cool down. It's still around 80 degrees and it's about 7:30 at night. Alright, so why do symptoms or pain flare up and get worse? Right? So you all know you've had the ups and downs. Even before you knew about this TMS, this perceived danger pain, symptoms would go up, they'd come down, they'd get worse, they'd get a little bit better, and we never really seemed to be able to figure it out. There's no rhyme or reason, and a lot of people will say to me things like, yeah, my symptoms got way worse out of the blue, I have no idea. And then they go on kind of a little quest to try to figure out, why did my symptoms change? Why did they flare? What did I do wrong? What happened? Why are they getting worse? I know about TMS. I understand this stuff and I was doing better. So what the heck happened? Why did they get worse? And then we get really upset and we think, oh dear, my symptoms today are as bad as they were in the beginning of my journey with TMS. Does that mean I went all the way back to square one? Am I starting over? Oh no! And we become more obsessed with trying to figure it out and more upset with the fact that we feel like we're starting over. Well, let me clarify that first. You're not starting over, because if you're able to feel better up until this time when things kind of went sideways and got worse, then you can get better again, right? So why exactly do symptoms get worse? Sometimes we can't figure it out. Sometimes it's obvious. Kind of fight with your mother and all of a sudden your symptoms got worse and you go, oh, but now what are you going to do? You're never going to talk to your mother again? Yeah, well, so sometimes identifying triggers seems like that'll resolve things because then you know to avoid that trigger in the future. But that doesn't teach your brain anything about safety. All that does is say, I identified that person, that thing, that emotion, that stress is dangerous and we got to avoid it. That's not the way forward, is it? So the key here is, the reason symptoms get worse is because the brain is perceiving some element of danger, right? The brain's perceiving danger, and as a result, when there's danger, what happens? Adrenaline, cortisol, we go into maybe the stress response. It could be a social situation, a relationship, a friend, a family member, an emotion, a body movement, a body position, a new mattress, a new pair of shoes, you name it. New foods, different foods, old foods. But if the brain perceives danger, the system can start to increase in its sensitivity, its vigilance, and thereby the intensity of the symptoms can flare. They can go up. And so what if you don't have to figure it out? What if you can simply just recognize, symptoms are going up. My brain must be perceiving some type of danger. So instead of wasting days, weeks, months trying to figure out what the heck caused the symptoms to flare and getting more and more upset over time because you can't exactly identify it. And so if you can't identify it, how are you supposed to fix it? Don't worry about it. You don't have to figure out exactly why the symptoms went up, because there's a basic understanding of why symptoms go up that is explanation enough. It's good enough of a reason to understand what's happening. Your brain perceived some danger, the system ratcheted up. Period. End of story. No further investigation needed. You have your answer. When symptoms flare, the brain's perceiving some danger, and it's ramping things up. So if that's the case, what's the best way to recover from a flare-up? Well, freaking out? Overanalysis? Trying to figure it out? No, no, no. Jumping right to calmly teaching and showing the brain that the flare-up doesn't mean anything. And if the brain flared things up simply because it was perceiving danger, doesn't it make sense that the sooner you convince the brain that whatever perceived danger it was is not truly dangerous, that things will settle down quicker? So don't spend a lot of time trying to figure stuff out. Again, if it's obvious and you go, yep, it was that conversation, great. But you still need to go to the solution, which is to teach the brain that stressor wasn't really dangerous. I can handle it, not a big deal. I know what's going on. So the pain went up. So what? Whatever. Don't care. And the less you care, the less you react with fear, the less attention you give the symptoms, the faster this flare-up is going to dissipate. And you will notice that as you do this and get a little bit practice with it, the sooner you jump right to calm reassurance, perhaps even indifference, like, okay, symptoms went up, not worried about it because I know deeply, I have the clarity, remember the clarity video, I have the clarity to know I'm okay, so the presence of increased symptoms doesn't mean anything other than the brain is perceiving some type of danger. Some type. And if we can't figure it out, don't worry about it. Stop. Get right to safety. Get right to teaching the brain that we're actually okay. The best way to calm down a flare-up is to actually be calm. To actually respond calmly, reassuringly, with indifference if you can get there, but if not, at least try not to freak out if you can help it. Because if symptoms flare and you freak out, you're likely going to either keep the intensity high or make it even higher, or at minimum, delay the symptoms receding again and getting better again. So why do symptoms flare? Simple answer, the brain's perceiving some danger. What's the best approach? As quickly as possible, remind yourself that that's all that's going on. Nothing bad happened. You didn't do too much. You didn't overexert yourself. You didn't do whatever. Nothing bad is happening. Your brain just perceived danger, and the sooner you convince the brain that I'm really not in danger, so come on, brain, you can cut the crap. You can dial it down again. I'm really okay. Doing that with a relaxed body, comfortably breathing, not really taking this stuff too seriously. Don't go run into the internet and start searching. Don't stay up till 2 in the morning researching, why pain increases. No. Perception of danger went up, so did the symptoms. Best way is to calmly teach the brain that we're okay by responding calmly so the brain can feel safer sooner. And how you respond to symptoms, their presence at all or any increase in it, will massively influence how intense the flare-up gets and how long it'll stick around. So don't try to read into this and look for things to blame. There's no blame. Brain's just still in a hypervigilant state, perceiving danger, perhaps where it doesn't exist. And there's not a lot to figure out. There's not a lot to do. So I hope this helps. Hope this makes sense for all of you. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. That's a high five, by the way.